Welcome to Adulting on the Spectrum. I'm Andrew Komarow. I co-host Adulting on the Spectrum with Eileen Lamb. Hey, Eileen.
Hey everyone, I'm Eileen Lamb, an autistic author and photographer, and in this podcast, we want to highlight the real voices of autistic adults, so not just inspirational stories, but people like us talking about their day-to-day life, what they like, what they love, what they don't like. Basically, we want to give a voice to a variety of autistic people.
Today, our guest is Tyler McMichael. Tyler lives in Dallas-Fort Worth area, graduated from University of North Texas. He was diagnosed with Aspergers Syndrome, now ASD, at the age of 4. His favorite music genre is metal, and he loves learning new languages, which he calls his obsession. He can speak Spanish, French, Arabic, and Portuguese. He is also a Ticket P1 and listen to the Ticket every day. You're going to have to explain to me what that is later.
Hi, Tyler. Thanks so much for joining us today on this podcast. We're excited to have you.
Eileen, Andrew, thanks. It's a pleasure. Great to be here.
So, Tyler, we always ask our guests what they like to identify as far as autism is concerned. So that means on the spectrum, Asperger's, autistic, or if you have no preference, that's fine. But we like to ask.
Thanks for asking. Yeah, I really don't have any preference. Autistic. That's what I've heard my whole life. So I just go with autistic. That's what I put on LinkedIn. I'm autistic, so that's fine.
Cool.
So you were diagnosed with Aspergers syndrome at age 4. When did your parents tell you about your diagnosis? Do you wish you had known sooner or later?
Well, great question. So when I was about 3 years old, my parents noticed that I, to say the least, was different than a lot of other kids. My parents would get a lot of, complaints at school, like, hey, just letting you know, like your son, may need to get tested for autism because, he's like yelling a lot, trying to block out noises and stuff. We think he may be autistic. And so my parents took me, I think, at age 4, got diagnosed at age 4. Don't really remember being diagnosed, to tell you the truth. And I don't honestly remember them saying, you have Asperger's. I just remember going to therapy at age like 8 or 9, or I think 7, and being in groups with other kids that had Asperger's or now autism spectrum disorder. And it really helped a lot.
Do you know what therapy that was? Like what type of therapy?
Yeah, so it was type of therapy where I guess it's behavioral therapy, where you meet with people that have autism as well, or Asperger's, and they would put us in groups together, and basically it was just free roam. Like we could play together, and the idea, I guess, is some of us would get frustrated with one another, and the psychologist would say, hey guys, what's the way we can compromise here, things like that. And it really got us all to learn how to basically work in groups together.
Sounds like social skills training.
Yes, exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
And I remember as a kid too, going to occupational therapy, getting used to light touches. I would get brushed like 10 times on each arm and everything like that for several years until I finally got used to them.
Do you like it now?
Yeah.
You tolerate
Sometimes
it?
when I'm sitting next to someone on a plane, I guess that's normal. It's like someone touches your arm, it's like, whoa, like kind of thing. But yeah.
So as somebody who also doesn't like light touch at all, I mean, to me, that seems like we're moving a bit away from that type of therapy, like almost like an exposure therapy, right? Like that didn't like make you better, and it bothered you. Do you think that helped you, or do you wish there was no value to that therapy, right? And I think we've come a long way with autism, so maybe we're not doing that as much anymore. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
So just to understand the question, you're asking if the brushing worked, basically?
Yeah, and what your thoughts are on that looking
therapy?
back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it helped for sure, because the occupational therapy really helped me with getting used to light touches, because it used to be, and I remember this for sure, like if anything were touching me, like in the car or anything, I would freak out. Like the seatbelt, if the seatbelt was touching me a little bit weird, I would freak out, start yelling, things like that.
No, so like just enough to be safe. So like not wearing a seatbelt's obviously very important to be safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like to make you someone you're not. It's really just because it was impacted your life in so many ways that anything that touched you, you couldn't stand it, basically.
Yes, but now that you mention that, maybe back then it wasn't really as known to people come out and say, "Hey, I am autistic." It was kind of, mental health was, you kept it kind of to yourself. So I guess maybe it was kind of a thing to acclimate into society, but I don't really think it stopped me from hating light touches because I still don't really like them. So never thought of it that way.
So if it didn't stop you from hating them, then kind of what was the point, right? I guess
Yeah.
to keep you safe in the seatbelt example, but I think short of that, I think there's a reason. It didn't cure you, right? It didn't help. It just
No.
bothered you. Again,
Yeah.
minus the seatbelt example, right? I think that's valid. Wearing a seatbelt's important.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tyler, what do you think about the change in the DSM? Because before you were diagnosed with Aspergers Syndrome, but now it doesn't exist anymore. It's lumped into autism. Do you like that change, or do you think it should have stayed the same?
That's a great question. I honestly was very surprised when I was taking a psychology class in college and I realized that Asperger's was not a thing anymore. And I said, wait, what? And so I did research, and you're right, it's not. And it really surprised me just because my whole life I heard Asperger's. And I guess I don't really understand why they changed it, because I'm not in any way, shape, or form like a medical professional or why things are called the way they are, but it definitely was a shocker to me that soon, someday, 50, 100 years on the line, no one will know what it is. Like it'll be, so it kind of definitely shocked me for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, I liked Asperger's better, which also would be my diagnosis today if it still existed, because some people on the spectrum have such high needs, and it just seems like it's a different diagnosis to me, like Asperger's and like level 3 autism, like the most severe side of the spectrum. So I really liked having that distinction. So like, if I tell someone I have Asperger's, I feel like it gives them a lot more information about me than if I say I have autism, because like, it's such a broad spectrum. So I kind of wish they had kept it separate.
Yeah.
So on that note, diagnosis and stuff, what do you think about self-diagnosis?
I'm glad you asked. I despise self-diagnosis for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is because you need a licensed healthcare professional to diagnose you with any type of thing. It's not going online, looking at a horoscope and saying, "Oh, I fit Aquarius. Okay, I'm Aquarius," or "Oh, I'm Capricorn," or whatever, or "Oh, I'm bipolar because I looked it up and I fit some symptoms of bipolar." There's a lot of people on social media now that are trying to tell people, "Hey, it's okay to self-diagnose and all that," but I really don't think it's good, because you really need a mental health professional to diagnose you. You can't just say you're something because you read something online.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more.
But I do think that there's something where, so in our Adulting on the Spectrum Facebook group, we let people in, and I like the term, suspecting diagnosis, because I do think that there are a lot of people who may see symptoms and learn of things, but those symptoms could be many, many other things, right? We don't allow people. So I do like that term. And also it's, why are you requesting a diagnosis? What are you looking for? What are you looking to get out of it? So
yeah, and it's honestly, it's kind of insulting too. Like when you hear, like I was on LinkedIn the other day, and I don't know who it was. It was just a post by someone, and they said, the new show out that's Wednesday, the Addams Family spinoff thing, and they're like, Wednesday fits the traits of autism and all that, but the writer didn't say that. And then, and then everyone on there, I read the comments and was saying like, yeah, if it wasn't for Wednesday, I wouldn't have self-diagnosed with, because I relate to her and all that. And I'm just like, what are people doing? It's like they're trying so hard to like want to be different. And it's just, I don't understand.
Yeah, and I also think too, I mean, I don't think Wednesday is. I think, you could be socially awkward, right?
Yeah.
Or a few other things. And I mean, you can relate to a character without, them also being, autistic. Sometimes there are TV shows where they don't say they are. But I would say I don't believe that's one of them. So, but hey, it's good you can relate to a character. That's not a bad thing. But
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, it's happening a lot with many TV shows. And the thing is, people are not seeking a professional diagnosis because there is that hive mind online where people just, they feed one another, right? So they kind of like seek validation. Like if that person is autistic and says they have these traits and I have them and they're autistic, and it's just like spreading, and everyone's saying that because they're a little quirky and they don't like touching, light touch. Now people, because of your episode, are gonna think that because they don't like light touch, they have autism. See, I mean, it's how it's gonna be. So yeah, it's tricky. What do you think about social media? Do you think it's a good thing because more people are talking about autism, or that it's a bad thing because, a lot of misinformation and is spreading?
Well, honestly, I think it's good and bad, right? So you're talking about misinformation. That's definitely something that definitely is bad and it needs to be addressed for sure. But also, I think social media, there are good things about it. And the main one is getting mental health aware. Like you see hashtag mental health awareness, it's great, because back when our parents were kids, like you just did not talk about mental health issues like in public, like if you were, like this guy has something wrong with his mental health, like he's weaker than people that don't have mental health issues, so it definitely, that's not what I think. I'm just saying like it definitely helped people understand like, hey, suicide is definitely something that's needs to be addressed, and I definitely think social media definitely helped make people more aware about it. But the bad side is like I was saying before, I was on social media and I saw people saying, yeah, oh, self-diagnosis is good. And then when people see that, they just think, oh, I'm going to do that too. And then it's, you really, yeah.
So what do you say to the people who say, diagnosis is a privilege? And it is true that it can be very hard to get diagnosis as an adult.
I'm glad you asked that, Andrew. I would say this, that I was in class with basically people that were autistic and things like that. It's called the Public Preschool for Children with Disabilities when I was in 3 or 4 years old, and it was of all races were in there. It wasn't just white. Like it wasn't like there was a ton of people. Same in my group. My therapy group. It was all races, and I think definitely that we definitely need to have better mental health care treatment in the United States for sure. And people definitely refuse to get treated because they can't afford to go get treated, but also at the same time you can't self-diagnose. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people can't afford treatment, but you still can't self-diagnose, because with that logic, we might as well just not go get diagnosed at all. We don't need doctors to diagnose anymore. Like I said at the beginning, I can just look up on the internet and say, oh, I have bipolar, but I'm not going to go get diagnosed. Like you just can't do that. It's not safe. So yeah, someone in my family, is a licensed professional counselor, and she says that some people come to her, and she also reads it too on social media, and say like, oh, I think I'm this because of this, which is great, but then there's some that are saying, no, I am this because I read it on social media. And it's and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And she's like, I agree. I think it is, people shouldn't be self-diagnosing.
What can we do to make diagnosis more accessible so people don't self-diagnose?
Exactly. That's what I was saying before. We definitely need to have, better access to mental health treatment in our country, because, you can't just take off of work like you can in a lot of other countries and just say, hey, a lot of countries are guaranteed like, at least 20, some countries, I think Australia has 20 days paid leave, stuff like that. We don't have here the time to take time for ourselves and, figure out like, hey, what is wrong with me? What can I do to get help? Things like that. And I'm very big advocate for mental health treatment.
And speaking of work, what do you do for work?
I am a travel agent. And on the side, I make websites for people, front-end developer using JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and all that. But right now, my main job is a travel manager.
Does your autism help you in any way or in your job?
Yeah, because I have to remember a lot of airline rules and stuff like that. And it's just, I guess I got the good memory from autism, I guess. And it's good because now that I'm remote, I don't have to be in an office setting. And that was the hardest before a lot of companies allowed remote work, is because everyone expects everyone to be, smiling in the meetings and the person always talking. But I'm the guy that, is not really talking that much. I'm in the back doing my own thing, but still doing my job right. And I think that this role definitely is great for someone with autism. It requires very little, talking all the time to clients, things like that. It's just you're by yourself, making sure that all the airline rules are being followed, and you're just kind of a lone wolf, and I like that.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing that came out of the pandemic for me, being able to work from home. I had never had a job before the pandemic because it required going to an office, and it's not something I can do. So to me, it's been really amazing to be able to work remotely and to have so many companies allowing that. So I totally
No, for sure.
get that. I know that you said in your bio you love languages too, and you speak French, Arabic, and all of that. How do you even learn that? Like, do you use what is it, Duolingo app or something?
No, so great question. So what I did is I really wanted to honestly learn German first, and my dad told me, no, you live in Texas, you really should benefit learning Spanish, since you'll speak it so much. And I thought he's crazy. Like, no, I want to learn German because of Rammstein, man, which is a German industrial band. And but he was right. It did. I started learning Spanish in class. There was a guy there named David, and he didn't speak any English at all. And he was in the class because he needed a teacher that spoke Spanish to like help him through school and stuff like that, get around. And I go up to him, and the night before, I wanted to just put together a list of questions to ask him in Spanish. And he said my pronunciation was really, really good. And he started responding to me in Spanish when at the time I didn't understand any Spanish at all. And I said, I don't know what you're saying. And he's like, really? I thought you spoke, you're like native or something. And I was like, what? Wow. So then I really started to actually try in Spanish class and learn a lot more and more and more. And then I started making friends that spoke Spanish, started talking about social media. One of the good benefits is I started adding people that from other countries that wanted to learn English too. And so we would speak in Spanish, in English, side by side. And then in college, I did French as well. And I basically just took one semester of French, and that one semester just gave you all of the textbook that you needed. It gave you all the grammar rules and everything. And so I basically just learned Spanish like I learned French like I learned Spanish. And so I just got my old French vocab or Spanish vocab, and then just try to just basically learn that way, pretended I was in the classroom again. And with Arabic, I went to the University of North Texas, and there's a lot of Arabs in that community. And so I took an Arabic class too, but also just immersed myself with them, and I became really, really good at it.
Do you ever practice French? Tu comprends le français?
Oui, je peux parler français maintenant avec toi, parfaitement. Ouais.
C'est impressionnant. It's impressive.
Yes. Yeah, I love French. It is harder because, in Texas, we have a lot more Spanish speakers. So I have to like go on apps like One Hello Talk, where it pairs you with people that are learning languages. Like it pairs people whose native language is French, and your native language is English. And then you talk to each other. So I have to do that to keep up the pronunciation and the rules and all that. And same with Arabic too, since I don't really talk to a lot of my friends anymore from college since I graduated, who mostly were Arabs.
That's really cool. And
Is
Arabic,
that what you would recommend to somebody what would you recommend to somebody looking to learn a new language?
Great question. What I would recommend doing is don't really download Duolingo first. Always take a class first. And this is not like a $2,000 class at a, top tier university. You can go to your local junior college even and just take one class there or a couple classes there. You'll get the textbook already. You basically just need the grammar rules and the vocab, and that's it. And the rest is just you can learn on your own.
You make it sound so easy.
And then after that, then you can use Duolingo and then apps that pair you with people that speak languages. I would highly recommend downloading the app Hello Talk. It's great.
Okay.
I want to learn Italian. I think it's so
Oh,
pretty.
it's great.
I
Yeah, it is pretty.
English and French, but Italian is just, I don't know. I love it. I love how
Grammar is very close to French. So you can
really?
translate, like, how a lot of times when you find yourself translating in your head to the language exactly, and it doesn't make sense in the other language. Well, Italian, you can translate in your head exactly, and it will come out the same in Italian, like as you would. So it's like requires a lot less sentence redoing and all that. So it's cool.
You're making me want to take a class at university, and I hate
You should.
university. Maybe I will actually.
What language do you want to learn next?
I'm actually trying to learn Mandarin right now, and it's really hard because, well, it's not hard. It's just it requires a lot of time because you have to learn the pinyin, which is the basically the quote unquote English letters, right? And then you have to memorize the picture of it. So you have to memorize the picture. You can't just sound out the symbol. You have to memorize the what the picture is. So it's really, really hard. It's with work right now and everything, and all I'm doing, it's taken a lot of time, and I can't learn it as fast as I did Arabic.
Yeah, I mean,
when I had all that free time.
All of these have different alphabets, so it's like incredibly difficult. I mean, I can't.
Oh yes.
I mean, and Arabic, don't you read it from right to left too?
Yes, you read it from right to left. Yes, that is correct.
It says in your bio that you're a P1 ticket. What is that?
Okay, so all the P1s listening right now are gonna laugh. That's awesome. So basically, the ticket is a sports radio station here in Dallas, Texas. 96.7 FM, 1310 AM, or you can just download the Sports Day Talk app and listen to it there, or iHeartRadio. Basically, it's a sports radio station, but also they have super funny segments on there. It's great. One of the reasons I wanted to mention on here is because I recently have, under doctor supervision, I've come off my my anti-anxiety medication because I wanted to try to cope with it naturally, and I listen to them every morning, and it's definitely the best form of coping with anxiety because they're so funny, they're so great. It's on 5:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, and they're just great people. Big community. They have events in the area and everything, and they're really good radio station. And a P1 means you're just a fan of the radio station.
Oh, is there a special term for it?
Yeah, P1. Yeah.
That's so funny. And you said you're into metal, the music.
Yes, exactly.
How did that happen? I mean, as someone who's autistic and like very sensitive to noise, seems like the opposite of what I would want.
See, I ask myself that question every day, and I joke with my friends a lot. I'm like, man, come on, or my wife, I'm like, come on, I'm the autistic one. I should be the one sensitive to noise, just like as a joke. And it's just, honestly, I have no idea how that happened, because as a kid, I was the epitome of like just autistic noise. Like, hey, like I would get on the ground, I would bang my head, I would want to be out of there completely. Even when I would go to church, I would not like it because of just all the noise in the church, just anywhere with noise. But I guess over time, I just got used to noise. Loud noises don't really bother me anymore. Now, constant noise of like rattling and stuff, that bothers me. Like rattling, constant rain dropping on the roof at night. That's really annoying to me. Rattling in the car, loose bolts, things like that. But really, really loud noise anymore doesn't bother me at all. It hasn't for years.
That's good. Do you have any tips? Do you know what happened, or did it just happen over time and no reason?
Honestly, it I guess it was because I just really wanted to immerse myself and really make a lot of friends and be better socially. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I just started going to metal shows and really liked it. I didn't really, when I went in there, I didn't feel anything weird about it, noise wise or anything. Maybe because I wear earplugs, that's why. But yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions. It's basically 5 very simple questions, and you just tell me the first answer that comes to your mind. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have a favorite quote? And if so, what is it?
Do I have a favorite quote? And if so, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Live life to the fullest.
What's your favorite
Generic,
autism?
right?
Yeah, but that works, What's your favorite autism representation in a movie or a TV show, book?
Oh, The Curious Incident of the Dog at Nighttime.
What's
Have
that?
you all ever read that?
No.
I
Andrew?
have not, but I know it exists.
It's a great book. It's basically a book about it's written by a British author, and I want to say it's a true story, but I'm not sure. I read it when I was a little kid, like 11 or 12. And the reason why it speaks to me is because it really shows what parents have to go through raising an autistic child, and that there are frustrations raising someone that is autistic, and it really shined a light, and it's like, wow, some parents may get frustrated about it, and but in the book you could tell, and I hate saying this term like quote unquote normal. It's like, oh, like you seem normal for an autistic person or whatever, or less on the spectrum than this person, but in the book I could tell that the stuff that the protagonist, well, I guess there's no antagonist in the book, but the main character was a lot more severe, quote unquote, than I was. But it really opened my eyes to seeing different types of autism and what other people with autism have to go through on a daily basis.
I think it's really
It's really
cool
good.
how you you're autistic, but you don't think it's bad that parents, have
No,
frustration, because that's, a narrative we hear on social media so much, like, oh, parents are making it about themselves, and, they're martyr moms, and yeah, I really love that some people, autistic people, can see that, yeah, it's hard for the parents too, not just
yeah,
the
and
autistic person.
it's really hard, and my parents never my parents always said like it made them like just like stronger individuals, because it made them like really understand like about mental health, and things like that, and they helped me so much, they I love my parents so much, and they're definitely the reason why I am here today, not like in normal classes, things like that, because they didn't want me to be just in special classes my whole life, not having relationships, not able to form relationships. So they really wanted me to, like, if I were to do something in public that was quote unquote not right, like screaming and stuff like that, like, of course, when I was older, like 6, 7, they would say, hey, like, don't do that. And so it got to the point where I wouldn't do that anymore in public, because I knew, hey, this is wrong, kind of thing.
That's great. I love hearing this. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite animal?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I don't know. I've actually never thought about that. Let's see. My favorite animal would probably have to be, oh, I don't know. Probably a cheetah just because they run so fast and they can just get out of anything really fast and just escape.
I like it. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is, oh, okay. Oh, that's a good one. I like Inception just because I walked out of the movie. I base favorite movies, quote unquote, based on like how I feel when I walk out of the movie. Like, was it just like, whoa, I have never seen this before in my life. No director has ever done anything like this. And Inception definitely is my favorite for sure.
Interesting.
Do you like it, Andrew?
I like his logic for why he likes a favorite movie. And yeah, Inception was good movie, but I like his reasoning.
Thanks explanation. Okay,
Yeah.
final question. It's a very important
Okay.
one.
Mhm.
Is glow in the dark a color?
Like
Is
right here,
glow in the dark a
like
color?
if you're yeah, like the glow in the dark that you see, like in the light, like right here.
Well, honestly, I'm actually colorblind. So no. I can see that color. It's just I have trouble with blue and green. So uh I don't know. Is it a color?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm
No.
just gonna say yes, just because it's not black or white. And if I understand those aren't colors, right? So I'm gonna say it is a color.
It could be a property, like, like an adjective, like it glows in the dark, but it's not actually a color, you know?
Ooh, that's such a good one. I've never been asked that before. That's a mystery. I'm gonna look that up. That's gonna be what I'm research today.
Yes. So you mentioned LinkedIn, my favorite social media network, not Eileen's, but can you tell us where we can find you on social media?
Yeah, of course. So I am on Instagram. I don't really get on a lot. I just follow friends and family and stuff, but you're more than welcome to add me. It's Tyler _, JavaScript, like the programming language.
Mhm.
And on Snapchat, it's Tariq, TARIQ 308956. It's just my Arab friends used to call me Tariq, because they wanted to give me like a Arab name, and so I just stuck with that. I thought it was funny, so I added that name ever since.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Tyler. It was so great talking with you. I really want to learn Italian now, so thank you for that.
Yeah, it was great talking to y'all. I really appreciate you having me, Andrew and Eileen, and everyone listening. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.